let's have a chat now about something that I just wanted to take a couple of seconds just to look back at things, just to be able to have a 30,000-foot view on something. Let's compare and contrast the way that the world is going, and it's not getting better as it is happening. As we speak right now, China and its Communist Party is having every 4 years they have a giant conference. Now, of course, there's no democracy in China. This is all just a way where somehow President Xi, who's already president for life, finds a new way of cementing more power, more control, making it all about him. And his view of China is that it is no longer the China of 20 years ago, the one that has bought off so much of the Australian political contingent, the business contingent, the one that basically just wants to sit back and build things for you. They're the ones, of course, now who want to take over free countries like Taiwan, collapse the free areas of Hong Kong, and so much more. To give you an idea about party discipline, this is how things work in the free country of China. All clap in one, give the bloke more power, even though he's already president for life. Now, he has already, at this particular meeting, given us a frightening idea of what his plan is for the next few years. More control over China, more control over the world, and essentially viewing it as the superpower. Here's through a translator part of what he had to say.
China's international influence, appeal, and power to shape have risen markedly.
Confronted with drastic changes in the international landscape, we have maintained firm strategic resolve and shown a fighting spirit.
Now, of course, they've spread their reach around the world by making a lot of people very rich. Businesses have become very rich because China will make things cheaper over there. They'll buy anything that we make here. And of course, that results in a lot of people trying to defend China. Some so-called passionate Australian business leaders, well, they don't want to disrupt the relationship. But the relationship has been disrupted because we want to stand up for Western values. We have been punished as a result. Yet China doesn't care. Good luck to any Pacific Islands leader who thinks that they are doing deals with a China that won't eventually crush them. But let's not muck around and let's compare that with the leader of the free world. The man who we've joked about plenty of times as defying gravity because he's the only person who can fall up the stairs. But even weirder than that, on the very same day that China was having its conference, clapping all as one, giving Xi even more power, this was the President of the United States. Not joking, this is what he was doing.
Yes, our economy is strong as hell. The internal inflation is worldwide, worse off everywhere else than in the United States. So the problem is the lack of economic growth and sound policy in other countries, not so much ours.
A feeble, ridiculous example of a leader of the free world. A bloke who's standing there in an ice cream shop holding a cone, taking bites every now and then and fumbling his way through and mumbling his way through yet another day. Now, of course, China found a way to, well, form a relationship with the Biden family. It, of course, came through his son, Hunter Biden. Remember the amounts of Chinese money that ended up going through the business that Hunter Biden had in place? A business that his business partner said the President of the United States was getting a section of? Now, President Biden, of course, completely denies that. The media have no interest in looking at it, but it's a perfect example of the frightening strength and control happening on one side and the weakening of our side. But sadly, it's not just there. In the UK, you have a bizarre and absurd situation playing out right now where the Prime Minister of that country probably won't last another month because she decided to make a series of budget choices and borrow way too much money that freaked out entire markets. But just as a basic example of strength, you see the President of the United States has got a ice cream cone in his hand. Well, this is the powerful leader of Britain.
Given everything that has happened, what credibility do you have to continue governing?
– Chris Mason, BBC.
，
The former Tory Chancellor, Philip Hammond, has just said that you have totally trashed the Tory party's election-winning reputation for economic competence. Will you apologise to your party?
Well, I am determined to deliver on what I set out. Thank you very much, everybody.
Prime Minister, are you going to say sorry?
These people are appalling. They are so weak. And strength isn't just the ability to complete a sentence or to be able to do a media appearance without an ice cream in your hand. It's actually having the strength to realise what the threat is, to understand that it cannot be negotiated with, it can only be confronted and resisted. There is one way of running the world, which is supposedly free, and then there is the other where freedom is not an option. We are in the middle of choosing right now. And if those are the people defending us, then forgive me for saying, but God help us all.